in that 3K in 30-day challenge, I decided to charge $5,200 for a 6-month program all of a sudden. And it worked. And it's all thanks to the challenge and that mindset work. People will like show up differently if they pay more. You don't really believe it at first, but it's so true as soon as you experience it.
From working with clients for free to then launching a $6,000 premium offer and running ads to strangers on the internet to fill that offer. Want to know how to do it? Want to know what that journey actually looks like? Because my client Isabella is going to tell you exactly how she did just that. She started her nutritional therapy practice. She made all of the mistakes. She worked with people for free. She figured out some lessons learned. And then she launched a really super premium offer for her best clients that she gets on repeat. I'm going to let her take it away and tell you exactly how she did that. Isabella Thor is here on the Profitable Nutritionist Podcast. That is not her real last name, though, but I cannot pronounce her last name. So, Isabella, what is your last name and why is it so cool? And where are you from?
I love it. Yes, I'm Isabella Thor. That whole name is Thorsteinsdottir. And you're correct. That is, if you're a geek for Iceland, yes, that is an Icelandic last name. And yes, it means God of Thunder. You're correct on all 3 counts. And yeah, that is exactly why I don't go by Thorsteinsdottir. It's just way too long. But Thor sounds so much better anyway. So I just go by Isabella Thor.
Yeah,
So there you have it.
amazing. Amazing. We are so happy to have you today. I know we are going to dive into some numbers. We are going to dive into your
Mm.
practice, who you help, how that has changed. And I have no idea where the conversation is going to go, but I know it's going to be so juicy. So let's just jump in. Who are you? What do you do?
Absolutely.
What are your credentials? What the heck do you have going on?
Oh my goodness, what is it? I just figured it out last year, I swear to you, but it was so fun. Hello, I'm Isabella Thor. I'm a practitioner of functional medicine and nutrition, and at the moment, I specialize in helping women stop trying to lose weight like a guy, because that's the funnest way to do it, I promise. And I firmly believe, and I actually know, that when you optimize your female advantage to weight loss becomes fun, which is how we want it to be, for goodness sakes. And actually, I have a little story to tell to people here who are struggling with their niche at all. And I wish I had heard this before. And that is like, if you don't know for sure what your niche is, and you definitely know you want one eventually,
Mhm.
then 100% look for the things that like make you so happy to work with that person. And that, like, about last year, I was talking to a colleague. We were like in a group setting, and they were like, you know, I just hate working with my weight loss clients. And she was also a general practitioner like me. Like, we work with all sorts of people. And
Mhm.
that just like stuck out like a real hard for me, because I was like, what? Like, I have so much fun with them. And I want everyone listening to like to see if you can find that moment with people
Mhm.
and see if you can see it again and again, because that is the best business to build around. And if you can go there, then go there, because I have so much fun with those
Yeah.
clients. And I really think it's because it's process related and it's results related. There's
Yeah.
nothing more fun than getting people results and having them like just be so happy about that. So yeah. um,
Well, I was okay. So I think this is such an interesting topic to just go face first into
yeah.
because people are so resistant to weight loss. It's either like you love talking about weight loss and helping clients with weight loss, or you absolutely hate it. I see this like there's no gray area of like, oh yeah, sometimes I work with weight loss clients. Not usually. It's like either a hard yes, a hard no, or a heck yes. So why do you think that is that people are resistant to working with weight loss clients?
Mm, I personally think it's because it's not fun and predictable for many people.
I think it's the predictable. I was going to say the same thing. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what the fun part is in my world. Predictable is fun. Fun equals predictable. So like
Yeah, so, like, how do we make it predictable for them? It sounds like you've really cracked the code on that.
that's the thing. And that is from like trial and error, and I
Yeah.
have you to thank for that, in terms of like just getting my system out there, getting free clients to try the system out and proving to myself that it works. So yeah, it
Mhm.
is sort of like a formula, but it's also what everybody here knows. It's functional nutrition, it's functional medicine, it's putting it together and then
Mhm.
doing a whole bunch of coaching with mindset on top of it to make sure they don't, um,
Yeah.
every human thing that pops up in their head doesn't derail them. So that is the short, long answer of it. It's really finding a predictable model that works.
So when you started in TPN though, to my recollection, you did not have a specific niche. You've really like gone deep on weight loss now and you have an
Yeah.
amazing offer and we're going to talk about that whole
Yeah.
journey. But you did not. You were working with anybody who wanted your help, yeah?
100%. That's right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So when was that? But let's give us a timeline. How long have you been practicing? When did you join the
Mm,
program and like what has that looked like as far as
yeah.
timeline?
Absolutely. And if I even take a step before that, I want everyone here who feels like they don't belong in this industry to know how I also didn't feel like I belonged here at all. Okay, so long story short, I grew up with almost no health problems. Shocker. And I also had almost no interest in human health. And my dad was a doctor, my mom was a nurse. Like they were like all into health, but like zero interest. I went to university for philosophy, for physics, like as far as ways you can think from human health. Like tell me about the stars and like how planets are formed, but don't tell me about like how many whatever to eat or whatever. Like, that doesn't matter. You're healthy, right? Everybody's healthy. And then and then as soon as I got into university, serious the big three things happened. I didn't know how to take care of myself. So depression hit and everything that made me feel 70 years older hit me as well at the same time. So that was brutal. And by the end of those 4 years, and I know many of you have gone through a similar story here. By the end, I was so in such a dark place. I made like a suicide pact with myself. Like, I was like 5 years, and that's it. If I can't figure this out, then like fine. I am smart and capable, so I can probably do something about this. But like, this is too hard. I don't see hope, etc. And then I just dove in and I completely changed from philosophy and physics and I went straight into this health thing, functional medicine, functional nutrition, the NTA, just like you, and other things as well while I was over in Europe. And of course, it worked. Surprise, surprise. Like, food makes you feel good. Like, food and mood. Like, who knew? You say this all the time, but most people don't realize that
Don't realize.
it's
Yeah, we're
such a
so
big
in it that it's
thing.
like, of course, but not of course. Not of course. No. Uh-uh.
No, no, not at
Yeah.
all. And then of course, after that, like many of you, I was like, everybody needs to know this. Come on, let's do this.
Yeah.
No longer do I need to debate people about, the word being, like in philosophy, like I love doing. I seriously, I was gonna be a professor. Good, for goodness
I can
sake.
see it.
Okay.
You would have crushed. You would have crushed. You would have been amazing, but I'm glad you took this tract instead.
Right? Yep, thank you. Same with your FBI thing.
Yeah.
Yep, I know it.
Yeah.
And then what I want to say is just like I so I started this business in I think it was 2022 spring. Okay, as soon as I graduated, what did I do? I incorporated my business like immediately with the government. That which was like big deal for me. It made me
Yeah.
feel real. And
Yep.
then a little bit later, I well then I basically didn't do very much at all. I thought, and many of you I'm sure have had this issue too, like you feel like you have to go through an established route instead of doing your own thing right away. So I didn't really go the entrepreneur way very well, even though I did get one discovery call for some miracle. And I went through the route of like, okay, I gotta start at a supplement position at a local health store and like climb my way up through consults and get paid almost nothing, and that's okay. And
Gotta
that was
put in
the
it. Gotta put in
whole
my
first year.
time first. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I really think that it is that 9 to 5 mentality that you talk about a lot, but it's also really, really prevalent in higher education. If you're at all post-secondary master's degree students, like that's how you think as well. You think that you
Mm,
have to really crawl up.
like
You can't
intern
start.
mentality. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. So
Okay,
that
that
was
makes
the
sense.
first year. And I I didn't do much I didn't know that I could say, I can help you. I didn't know that I had to tell people I existed. And yeah, so I was very much in that intern mentality for the whole year. But luckily, um, I moved across the country by the end of that first year with my husband.
Which
And
country is this?
this, yes, this is important. It changes. Canada at the
Yeah.
moment. So I
Yep.
moved to the East Coast from the West Coast. And we, um, what changed for me in the second year, like the big thing that really changed, was that even though I still looked for jobs at an intern level, like at the local organic store that had weight loss consulting, um, I started to um, have a regular amount of time dedicated to my business. Um, and what that looked like was like maybe an hour to a week. And I was just thinking, how can I go out and share what I do with people? And I started a mastermind. I went to the NTA actually. And this is interesting because this is how I found you. I went to the NTA website for alumni,
Hmm.
like an hour every week. And I would just like look at all their support materials for a little bit. And one time I found your, is it called a webinar? It's one of those trainings they do. And then they show the alumni like all these different trainings. And
Yeah.
somewhere along
Pick-
the line, I found Andrea. Uh, and I don't know what you were coaching on exactly, but it sounded very, very helpful for business. Um, and um, and I immediately found your podcast and started listening to that, and that made my work hours way more consistent. And one of the people in my mastermind had actually gone to your program, um, and highly, highly recommended it. And his mindset in particular was like on point and very strong, and that really impressed me. And
Mm.
that's one of the reasons I decided I really wanted to do the program in the next year. But
Okay.
before I even got to the program, um, I wanted to say that you helped me do a lot of things that, even though they didn't work, made me mentally made me a lot stronger. Like, fun story, like I handed out 300 business cards at one point because I was like, I will get a client if I hand out 300 business cards.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
come on, I will.
Yeah, it's like that has to happen. This is just numbers. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me
And
guess, it didn't
it
work.
didn't work. Oh my god. And I could swear, I think you even said so in a podcast or something, but even before I tried it. And for some
Yeah.
reason I still tried it. Anyway, so that was
But to
fun.
have the balls to go do
Yes.
300 things, like that's a big deal. It doesn't matter if
Mm,
you get the results, you get results in a different way. Like your confidence, the way
mm.
that you show up, the way that you approach your business, when you're going to have 300 business cards printed and you're going to go hand them out, that is an upgrade, regardless of if actual clients come from the business cards or not. So I love that so much.
This is so true. It the upgrade, like you said, is within. You just become a different person.
Mhm.
Um, and you're like, right, it doesn't matter if they look at me weird when I when I give them. It doesn't mean anything about me. It's
No.
amazing. And yeah, that's, I think the one more thing I'd say from that is you also helped me um just take on free clients that year. I took on my
So this would
first
have
free
been
client.
2023 if I'm tracking, correct?
Yeah, that's right. You
Okay.
got it. So by the end of that year, I had my first free client, and then, like you suggested, you just sort of start figuring out your process and like what's week one look like, what's month six look like,
Mhm.
and it was extremely helpful and grounding because everything is sort of just like a black hole in your
Yeah,
mind.
it's
You have
like it's
no
so much
idea.
unknown until you get in there and you start making it known.
Like what? um, but what I think my main challenge, I'd say, is that whole year was just getting out of those old mentalities and picking up the entrepreneur mentality. And like the other big thing that happened this year is I also followed Andrea's advice in terms of like, get a business, account, and get a business credit card and all that stuff. You're 100% correct. It made me feel so real.
It
even
makes
though
you
I
feel
haven't.
so legit. You're like, "This is separate from my personal finances. I have a business. Like, this is a business bank account." That's an upgrade. You show
It
up
is
differently.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, and even though like that year, obviously zero income, filing that nil return, it makes you feel different. And having
Mhm.
to track these things and all that, and dealing with the government that way, it just yeah, it really really makes a difference. So,
Yeah.
but everything changed, of course. Next year,
So
it's
2024.
spring 2024.
Yep.
This is when this is I think I don't really consider my business really started until I um listened to started your program, which is last spring
Okay. So that's
2024.
when you were on my radar too. So I
Um,
was making sure that
yeah,
that's when you joined, if I was correct on that. So you joined the
correct.
Profitable Nutritionist program in spring of 2024.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Absolutely. And that's really when everything picked up a lot. I had my first profitable year. And a lot of decisions were made that I didn't realize I had to make. Uh,
Like what? Let's go through. This is so fun.
uh, yeah, should we? Okay, yeah, niche.
She's like,
Uh,
"Do we have to?" Okay. Yeah.
no, we can. Um, like prices. And I think the first thing I decided, for example, for pricing was um, $1,500 for a 3 month program.
Yep.
Uh, and um, that shocks me today. And I'm so glad that's not what it is today. Now it's like 4 times that. And it still makes sense, but I think it could keep going. And we'll
Mhm.
talk about that later. But like that's where I was starting, and I really needed that. I needed some structure around who am I gonna help and how am I not gonna make that dramatic. And yeah, the simple pricing stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and I'd say I think committing to being general in the beginning really, really helped me just test the waters and see what I liked and what I didn't like. I really did almost work with everybody from arthritis to fertility clients to weight loss, obviously, and all the other rosters of things that you'd see in the functional field.
Mhm.
Um, and and this is so exciting now that it's over, and I got some of my hardest clients. Uh,
Got those guys out of the way.
my
Perfect.
God, yeah. When as soon as you have hardest clients, you figure out your pricing problem real quick. Okay,
Mm. Say more
real quick.
about that.
Yes, I will. um, so my first hard client was at my is at about a level of that's 1/3 of my price now. So that was about 2,400 for a 6 month program.
Okay.
And what happens is that this lovely lady who has the best intentions doesn't show up. She doesn't really, and she's always questioning how long term this is going to be. And
Oh,
half
so
in,
she's like
half
hyper
out.
fixated on time
Exactly.
and then doesn't
Um,
make the time.
yes,
The
exactly.
irony is not lost, right?
No.
Yeah.
And when you haven't drawn a line in the sand, um, you let yourself be half in, half out.
Mhm.
So you let yourself question these things like time and um, whether it's going to work long term or that sort of thing. She still gets amazing results, um, but on my end, it was exhausting physically, mentally. The roller coasters I went through just to show up at a level where it doesn't impinge, well, it doesn't lower down to her
Oh,
level
yeah.
of
So you holding
safe.
the space up here when
Oh
you
yeah,
feel like we're always down here.
always. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is expensive. Okay, and you will feel it, I promise you, and you'll be like, never again. And
Yeah. So good.
and the weird thing is, when you do set your emotional health and your energy health at a higher price level, the people that buy at that level never ever treat you at a lower level than your energy. Yes, they'll have challenges, but they'll never treat it like life or death kind of. They'll always be like, I'm coachable. I have some maneuvering room. And you're not really rescuing them from the brink as much, I feel like, all the
Yeah,
time,
it's a
every
filter.
week.
Right. Yeah,
Yes, that's it.
it's a filter for that. Oh, that's a really great perspective. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say it in that way. I love that.
I'm glad because there's another one. Um,
I'm on the edge of my seat. Let's go.
so then I had a a male client who we went through the same thing, but he was not my niche market. So I had decided my niche like last year in the summer,
Mhm.
um, and um, he
Okay,
was
so
like
you
my
came into the
last.
program, you made
Hmm.
pricing decisions, you're charging 1,500 for 3 months. That
Hmm.
changes over your first few months. You're taking general
Yes.
clients. Tell me if I'm wrong anywhere here. You're taking general
Yes.
clients, you're picking, like, you're all over the place, you're figuring out, what do I want to be when I grow up? I don't know, but I'm just going to help the people and it's going to be okay. And then you're slowly increasing your prices during this time, right?
No.
Nope.
So I'll
We're
tell
still
you.
at 1,500.
Actually, let's take a step back actually, because this will be really interesting for people listening, because this is why I kind of joined the program. It was like I felt like I got everything from Andrea. However, the one thing I didn't get from Andrea was that magical 3K and 30-day challenge.
Oh, the
I was like
3K and 30 days
dying to
challenge.
get it.
Okay. So you came
And
in
it
the
was
program
worth
and
it.
you did the 3K challenge.
Yes, and I
Okay.
did it all by myself, which, by the way, you guys, you can do it. But like, it's way better to do it with other people at the same time. But I joined in March. You
Mhm,
usually run it in January-ish,
mhm.
and I just did it by myself, and I made over double the 3K,
Yeah, I
six
remember this. Like
thousand something.
6,600 or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
exactly. And the other thing that blew my mind was that I had originally planned and completely intended to charge USD because these were all US clients, but I
Okay.
hadn't set it up. So in Canadian,
Oh, because 'cause you're in
it would have
Canada,
just
and so yeah, yeah, so that's a whole thing.
it's a whole thing. So then in my mind, I was like, okay, I've blasted through and I'm in stage 4 now. So that's
Yeah.
fantastic. And one of the things that I wanted, why I brought this up is because you asked, how did you change your prices?
Mhm.
And in that 3K and 30-day challenge, I decided to charge 5,200 for a 6 month program all
Okay.
of a sudden. And, it
Oddly
worked.
specific number. I love that. I love it. It's like
I
you
know.
got it, you just got that and that landed and you just like, "This is the
Mm,
price."
this is the price. And it's all thanks to the challenge and that
Okay.
mindset work. So
Yeah.
that worked. Fantastic.
We should
Um,
do a little pause here just so people know what we're
mhm.
talking about if they don't know.
Go
Inside
ahead.
the TPN program, which you guys should just be joining, I'm just saying, we have a challenge that we run live called the 3K in 30 days challenge. My suggestion is your goal is at least 3K in the first 30 days, but you can choose any income goal that you have for the month. And then every single day you get a journaling prompt in the morning to do to get you closer to that goal. So it's like 5 to 10 minutes of thought exercises per day to get you to your goal. And like Isabella said, you can do it evergreen as soon as you join the program. It's available. You can start day one, but we do it live a couple times a year as a group as well. Okay, so now they know what you're talking about. So you
Good.
did the challenge. You had your goal was 3K,
Yeah.
but then you accidentally on purpose made way more than that.
Yes, excellent. Um, and then, highly recommended, you guys. Okay, you heard it from here. So, and you know, so the weird thing is that I, I change prices for every person, like, and just
Oh, I
don't care.
love this. Let's
That's
talk
why.
about it. Yes.
And
Okay.
okay. Okay, so then, it took me about big picture first. It took me about a whole year to like recover and go and charge my 6K for a 6 month program.
Yep.
Um, and the, I think, so then what happened? So if we go back to the start, after the 3K and 30-day challenge, when I got a person that was general and not my niche, because I felt very confident about my niche, I would just charge, I would go back down to 2,500 for 6 months,
Okay.
um, because I didn't have that simple, proven process in my head yet that made me feel like everybody was going, wow, by the end of it. although
Mm.
they were, I just wasn't paying
But
attention
your belief
enough.
in that was not high.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So 2,500 for general. And then at this point, you're charging more for your weight loss clients.
Yes. And that, but however, that didn't really start until this year, I think. Yes, this year. Because I was taking on a lot of free clients too last year. And then I gently fired them all. Um, when I realized I was getting really busy. It was a really good experience. Like nobody was mad or anything, but it was like, and some of them signed up with me after, but I was just like, I had a lot of weight loss client for free and they were doing great,
Mm-hmm.
and some general and they were doing great. But at some point I was like, okay, I need to get paid now. So
Yep.
I just gently broke up with them. And I think at least one of them or two, yeah, one of them kept going with me
Mm-hmm.
at full price. And yeah, so this is the very messy story of pricing. And at the end of the day, I would just say that it really just comes down to your mindset about it and your beliefs in it. And that will, and the reason we're talking about this is that it affected how people showed up with me. And when I realized that, and because that affects the results, everything came together. Because you don't really believe it. You don't even really believe Andrea when you listen to her on the podcasts and you're
Yeah.
like, she says to you, people will like show up differently if they pay more. You don't really believe it at first, but it's so true as soon as you experience it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just, I felt like 2024 had been like a huge scatterbrain, throwing things on the wall, having priorities, but actually having like 9 things prioritized. Like literally, I at one point in my mastermind, which is just a group we have for fun outside the program, I was like, yeah, so this is how I did this month in my quarterly goals. So for my 9 priorities, I got 3 done, and most of the other ones are like 20% done. And it was just
Shocking.
like,
Yeah.
wow. Like, so last year was a huge sort of like, okay, if you want progress, you got to prioritize one thing at a time.
Mm-hmm. Which you have done. And
Yes.
so it has been so fun to coach you through this and to watch this unfold. So you've gotten so clear on you loving to work with premium weight loss clients. You have a
Mhm.
process dialed in. You know they're going to get results. You love to sell this.
Yes.
That's what I'm seeing. I don't know. Stop me if any of that is incorrect, but that's what I see as your coach.
Mm.
So what has happened now? Now you're selling the 6K offer. You're bringing in the right
Yeah.
clients. They're invested literally and figuratively. What
Hmm.
is that experience like now?
Yeah. What is that like now? Well, on the calls, when I say my price,
Mhm.
I don't get a gasp. However, I always get something like, "Oh, that's a lot of money," you know?
Yeah.
And
We
and
talk we
I
talk about like it's okay to get a gasp.
yeah, it's
It's
okay.
okay for people to go, "Oh, okay."
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, maybe they're just being polite. But like then I then after that, the next like the very next moment, it's is like, well, yeah, um, I know this is a lot of money for many people, and that's exactly why I created the guarantee in my program. And it's very much like Andrew's guarantee, and it's like there's a very simple process. I'm not going to overwhelm you, but if you follow it and then get coached, if you get stuck,
Mhm.
we can guarantee 3 to 5 pounds, sometimes more per month, predictable weight loss. And that means basically 20 to 30 pounds in the next 6 months. And would it be worth it to you to have 20 or 30 pounds, be 20 to 30 pounds lighter in the next 6 months? And all of them are like, that guarantee just feels so welcoming. It feels relaxing and takes all the pressure off, and it just gets them through those first 2 weeks where like they see massive results, and then they're like, okay, I made the right decision, and then they just keep going because um also when you pay 6,000, you pay attention 100%, and you
Mhm.
prioritize it. I myself lost, I had like 40 pounds to lose, and it took me 4 years, but it took me 2 years to lose 20 pounds. And now it takes my clients 6 months to lose 20 pounds. And it's because I wasn't prioritizing it.
Mm-hmm.
I tell that story all the time. And it's so true. It's not just that the price makes you prioritize it, it's that someone else is watching you and cheering you on. So
Yeah.
when you ask, how does it feel to work with clients? It feels a lot more like you can do this. Like, I feel like I can say that so confidently. You're gonna do this. It's gonna be awesome. And if
Yeah.
you're all worried about it, there's this guarantee. And when they show up, I mean, today I'm going on. I just had someone start a month ago, and she's amazing. As soon as I had these people, had my clients start the 6K version of my weight loss program, they how do they show up differently? It's just the kind of I can't believe I'm saying this, but just basic respect for your time, basic human like
Mhm.
empathy and like
Yeah.
like it's it's beautiful, and they're so encouraging. They're so much more grateful for every single thing, um, because they're getting results at the same time. And I'm a very value orientated person. I give you huge value, and it's incredibly gratifying for someone like me to also receive so much appreciation back, so it feeds you. So that's really what I wanted to share with people here. It really loops back, and it just makes the whole experience a lot more wonderful.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they feel better about it because I feel better about it. And then they get better results. And
Yeah.
like,
It's
they're
just
not
a better
tired,
cycle.
they're getting so
Absolutely.
right. Yeah.
So what made you confident? Let's I have several questions. I'm assuming people are going to listen to this and they're going to wonder, does
Yeah.
she accept payment plans or is it pay in full only?
Mhm.
And they're going to wonder about the guarantee. So let's unpack all of those things.
Nice.
First question, how is the payment structured?
So, two options. You can prepay 6,000 before we start,
Mhm.
or you can pay $1,000 for 6 months at no interest fees. And I just want a short, quick note that is a very particular wording from Alex Hermosi that Andrea recommended. It's about a 5 hour podcast. Listen to it by Alex Hermosi, top sales tips for 5 hours. I
Yes.
listen to it every time before I have a sales call.
It's so
Anyway,
good. It's
it's
so good.
really good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
very particular.
We'll link that somewhere in the description of this episode too. That's a good
Oh,
resource.
very good. It's very juicy. So those are the two options. I'm still getting mostly people choosing the 1K, 1K, 1K for
Mhm.
6 months. And that's, yeah, I'm good with that so far. I might be moving later to like a 2 and a 6. So 6K and then two payments.
Mhm.
But we'll see, because right now it's not overwhelming to keep up with payments at all because it's
Okay.
all just automated.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind. So that's the first question, right?
Yep, that's the first question. I also have a podcast episode that people can check out about if you should offer payment plans because I think it is really specific to your business.
Mhm.
Do you have the do you have the cash flow to be able to spread it out? Some people don't. Some people need to get paid up
Mhm.
front because they have business expenses they need to run. So that
Yeah.
isn't for everybody, but I just was wondering how you were doing it. Amazing.
And actually, I do have one more thing I'd love to add on this. I think having 1K every month, it's like it's a motivation boost every time. Every time they make that payment once a month for the next 6 months, it's a renewed commitment to what we're doing. So I think it's
You kind of
helping.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. So I love everything about that. I love your guarantee. And most
Mhm.
people really hesitate to implement a guarantee like that. So I want
Right.
to talk about how did you come up with the guarantee and how did you get yourself on board to do it? Because I
Yeah.
hear people a lot and I coach people a lot on this. Like, I would love to
Mhm.
offer a guarantee, but I can't. I can't do it. Like, what if
Yeah.
they refund at the very end? What if, what if? So let's unpack the guarantee.
Yeah. Okay, how did we figure that out? Um
It's
I
a
knew
conditional guarantee, so they have
yeah.
to do the work.
See, like it's honestly I thought that I've taken a lot of structure from your program. Like a lot of little things. Like even my she has a predictable revenue process model, literally, and I have a predictable fat release process. Like, there's so many things you can take from Andrea and like just have a structure that you can grow into and then later
Thank you.
make your own. And
Yeah.
I really appreciate that because I need some of that, and then I also need encouragement to do my own thing. But
Mhm.
um, why I brought that up is because you also have a conditional guarantee, and I
Mhm.
just when I looked at it, it was like it's like the perfect thing. It's the ideal guarantee because it's not for remorse, and you say that in the beginning.
Yeah, like we don't
Everybody
give refunds for
understands.
buyer's remorse. That's not what
Exactly.
it is.
This
Mhm.
is like, you want this, and like, this is really for you. Like, I know this process works. Like, I've helped women do this, and like, or for you, I've helped business people do this. Like, I've got the proof. What you need really is confidence in you,
Mhm.
and that's why I'm making this guarantee to you because it will work.
Yeah.
So I think what most practitioners um, are struggling with when they hear you talk about guarantees is like, what am I going to guarantee?
Yeah.
It's a little easier for weight loss because I numbers are so no problem for me. I have no drama about making sure people lose 3 to 5 pounds.
Mhm.
Um, but I think it's more like, how do you measure an energy, digestion,
Mhm.
etc. condition problem? And I I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think you
so
just
my
have to figure it
suggestion to that
out.
is you have to create some sort
Yeah,
of a framework for measuring progress. And so
yeah,
us, I mean, we were both
yeah.
graduates of the Nutritional Therapy Association. So we have something called a NAC, the Nutritional Assessment Questionnaire, that kind of correlates with that program where people
True.
rate themselves. It's a really comprehensive assessment that people take that rates their symptoms that they're experiencing in their life. So you could use something like that where people
Yeah.
are going to experience a certain amount of decrease in their symptoms, but also it can be just like really simple. It can be asking at the beginning of every session with a client them to rate
Mm,
something. And so maybe you have a few questions that you ask every time and they're giving a 1 to 10 rating and you're measuring their progress on that and
yeah,
making a percentage reduction yourself, like whatever that is. But
yeah,
we can all figure out what we could measure and how we
yeah.
could implement some sort of tracking around it. We just don't
Mhm.
want to do it because we're afraid we're going to do it wrong, or we're afraid it's not going to work, or we're afraid, or we think, gosh, there's a better system somebody else has and I don't know what it is. And I got to go research for 6 months to go find it.
Obviously.
These are the things our brain comes up with, right? It's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be such a big deal. But what if it isn't a big
Yeah.
deal? What if you could just
Mhm.
create some sort of a rubric system so that you could measure results and you could
Yeah.
implement it? And if that was possible, then would you do it? I think is a great
True.
question. And you've done it. You're like, yep, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put in this guarantee. I
Yeah.
imagine that you probably had a thought process. Tell me what
Mhm.
this was like, where you were maybe going to test it for a while and just see. What was that
That's
like?
a great point. Thank you for reminding me. I did. I had I took literally, I think it was 2 or 3 free. I offered them the program for free so that, and I was very upfront. I really want to test this. This has worked amazing for me. And
Mhm.
one of them still paid me to do it. Um, so I gathered data from these women, and they were all different ages, all different kind of backgrounds genetically.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, this will tell me if it really works or if I'm just like, this is just for me.
Yeah.
um, and it absolutely worked for every single one of them. Um, so building that 100%, it works. But I think if we go building the data, I mean, and like letting yourself see that it works, that really helps. However,
Mhm.
I think for other things, I would say I want to share another thing that I did, which is not weight loss related, but it was for a little bit of time. I was working on relieving painful periods because there's a very proven way to do it. Um, and I still have the guide up on my website, like of how to do it, like 5 steps. But um, pain is a huge one that you can measure. Painful periods, like if you pick a condition, this is easier if you have a niche, but
Mhm.
any condition, painful periods, cramping is lower or higher. Like this is
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
measurable. So
It
I
is
agree
measurable.
with you. Yeah.
Something else that's measurable is consistency. So you could measure like how
Mm,
consistently somebody's adopting a new habit and you could track that and your guarantee could be around that sort of I mean there's just so many things that we can do. But we have to figure it out, right?
One
And I'm not
other
saying
quick
everybody has to
one.
have a guarantee, but I think it's a
No.
really interesting thought exercise. Like, am I willing to? Why or why not? And then the why or why not, that's your roadmap to like what are you unsure of, or what are you
Yeah,
where is your belief low, and like let's figure out how to get it higher. That gives you
exactly.
your own roadmap of what to do next.
Related to this guarantee and like building that belief, I really solidified it when I made my webinars for the first time last year, which is
Mhm.
around winter time. And I made two, and I followed the process you recommended by Russell, someone.
Yeah, Russell
Um,
Brunson. Yep.
and he has, yes, that one. And he has a section about the guarantee. And because I was making the webinar, when I got to that section, I had to really flesh it out. And that was extremely helpful. And it just made the webinar even better at the next level. And when people watch it, um, the very few people that I got to watch it, they would tell me like, oh my gosh, by the end I'm like sold, I wanted to go, like.
Yeah.
So that's very powerful, having that guarantee. So I agree with Andrea, if you can find something,
Mhm.
it's very, very powerful. But on
I
a
imagine
related
though
note.
your belief in that, like you would
Mhm,
deliver that guarantee so confidently because your belief is high. I also
mhm,
have seen people who don't have a high level of belief in their guarantee that would
mhm,
then, instead of saying, I got you,
mhm,
I guarantee it, this will work for you. You trust me. We're gonna get you there. Instead of that
mhm.
confidence, they'll be like, and also there's this guarantee, and I really don't even want to talk about it because you can tell that I don't really believe in it, and I'm really scared that you're gonna take me up on this guarantee. And so we're moving on. In which case that would not be an effective guarantee tool to use. So, your confidence in your tone and delivery is important as well.
Yeah, exactly. My God,
Yeah.
it was painful. Just looking at you, looking down. Oh man, you
It's,
guys should
I
have
know, like
seen it.
looking at, like I can't even look at you. I can't even talk about this. Yes. I've seen it.
That really reminds me of how in the webinar, well, so one of the problems I was having by the end of last year was, okay, I got a great offer, I got a great guarantee. I know it works. I have a belief sky high. Now, how do I get more eyeballs on these great things that I've built? These funnels, basically, that are now on my website and are just working for me. Um, and that is when I first happened to start hearing about your client attraction system and ads.
Mhm.
And this is
This is
something that,
this is something that I don't talk about much. So people are probably like, "What is this? What
yeah,
is this?" Well, this is something inside TPN that is a little upsell in there for when you're ready to run ads. But I'll let Isabella tell you
okay.
about it. Because
Well, yeah.
she knows better than anyone.
So I didn't join the first round, but I joined the second round of the
Mhm.
magic opening of this program. And all about basic, well, in my mind, the way I looked at it was, this is how to automate 95% of your in-person marketing. And I was all for that. I'm not going to do this full time, 100%. So
Mhm.
I'd love to just have people watch this thing, because I have feedback from my funnels and my webinars. This is fantastic. Like, I would be ready to sign up. So now I just need more people going through. Um, and that was my biggest, you call it like the funnel or something, but like constraint in my
The
business.
constraint, yeah, that was your biggest bottleneck.
That's it. Thank you.
Mhm.
And in comes the CAS and client attraction system, by the way. And um, this this person you hired to guide us through this thing, incredible. I think
Yeah,
everyone
so
should
this is
know.
the person that runs the client attraction system training
Yes.
is someone that ran our ads for a long time. Actually, his company has been acquired by a different company, so he no longer runs our ads, but
Whoa.
he is phenomenal and teaches a very, very specific system for setting up a cold leads funnel, which is different to a warm leads funnel where people kind of already know you, they trust you a little bit, they like you, they got sent to you from a personal referral or something like that. Your marketing is different there
Yeah.
versus a cold leads funnel where this person is a stranger from the internet, has never heard of you before, and is going to give you approximately 4 seconds to decide if they want to know anything about what you have to say or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So keep going.
100%. The only thing I wanted people to know about this is because it blew my mind is that this guy, his name's Elliot, he's he and his group has spent a lot of money testing ads,
Mhm.
and that perks my ear up because I was like, okay, I that's what I want. I need someone who spent a lot of money already can tell me what works, right? And he does. He really does. He like every week that we go through this little system, um, he really does tell us all the things to look for and the best practices, and that's been absolutely wonderful. And
Yeah. So it's
uh,
setting up a very different kind of lead magnet to one that you've ever made before, a
yeah,
different kind of landing page, a different email follow-up sequence, and then you get at the end to the ads on Google and on Facebook and Instagram that actually flow into that lead magnet into the funnel. But
yeah.
I like before we go any further, was
Okay.
it different than anything you'd ever seen? I think it's very different. I assume.
Um, Full disclosure, I've never had anybody train me on ads.
Okay.
I've only been self-trained because I'm very tech savvy.
Yeah.
But I will tell people this, which is which will save you lots of time and money. I have tried doing my own thing and it completely did not work in all cases. And I had no idea why. And there's no evaluation system to
Mhm.
determine why. And of course, Elliot gives you the evaluation system to figure out why. And that's why it's so relaxing going through this thing. And I'm like so happy that I did it. And like now it's been, I think it's 6 months now since I started it. And although this is not all revenue from the ads, compared to last year, I've already made all the revenue that I made last year, and it's only been half the year of this
Amazing.
year. So I think all the things that I learned in that ad system has up leveled not just my leads coming in, but has up leveled how I market. So that's the other thing that I don't, maybe Andrea, I don't know if you've touched on it before when you talked about the CAS system, but the way to use AI to make emails that are really high converting, that was the biggest thing I learned like almost immediately in going
Mhm.
through the CAS. And I used it immediately in my business. And so all my marketing effort went from 4 hours per email
Yeah.
to 1 or half an hour
Yeah.
every single week. That's a huge amount of time. And
I guess we should say that in the client attraction system, we use AI to do most of the work
yeah,
using very specific prompt formulas to do that, and including writing the follow up emails that you can then use for all of your weekly emails. So good.
100%. Guess what's going out automatically for the next 4 weeks while I'm away on vacation? Like, I didn't
So
have any
good.
emails. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Anyway, but like, this is, yeah. So this is something I'd love to have known as well. It's not just I feel like ads is a medium to long term game. Like this is a way to get leads that will bring people into your world and then they're going to be in your world for at least 3 to 6 months before they're ready to go because they've gotten to know you and they really like the system and they're ready to go. The pain point is there. Um, However, this other part, this up leveling your marketing and saving you time on your business, I think is what I attribute my increased income this year to, like
Mm.
being way quicker that compared to last year. So yeah,
So
I
is that
really
quicker to make decisions, or is that quicker to actually execute because you're using AI and you're using some of these systems to just go faster? What do you think it is?
it is go faster, make
Okay.
more, produce more.
Mm.
Um, and I was um I always have this thing with my husband. He suggests something, and then about a year later, I go, "Oh, look at what I discovered!" And he's like, "I told you like a year ago," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. You were totally right about that." And it does that regularly, about once a year. And AI was one of those things for my business, and he was like, "You can do this for your emails," and I really wanted to write my own,
Mhm.
and so a part of me still thinks that it really did help me figure out all the scattered thoughts in my head because the system wasn't outlined very clearly at all.
Mhm.
And if I had jumped to using AI right away, it might not, I don't know, feel as good as it does now when I use
Yeah.
AI and I can spot, okay, like, no, that's not it. Like, that's not my system. Like, let's go again. So I
Mhm.
feel like, um, I love AI, but I do think that you have to know your own voice too, so that you
Mhm.
don't get taken over by something that
Yeah.
you actually can't sell because you don't know if it works.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
So good. So you're running ads.
yeah.
You got your funnel set up. You're running ads. What has happened? Let's talk about it.
Yes, it's very, very fun. So
Let's
the
not only talk about the good stuff. I know you have good stuff to share and you have some good numbers, but let's also talk about the stuff that has
yeah,
been learning moments.
yeah, that's because I have them. I was gonna
Yeah.
talk about them. So um, a month ago, I started with a niche email list that's about, it was around 100 people just for my niche. And then as I ran the ads for about 4 tests so far, which is 4 weeks, now the email list is about 250 people. And
Amazing.
all those people are double confirmed people. So
Okay.
that's really,
They're
really
double opted in. They're actually
good.
getting your emails.
So
Amazing.
far,
Yep.
Canadian, about $1,000 has been spent. So all you U.S. people better be happy with that. Uh, that's less cheaper in the U.S. Um, and the I'm gonna get all the good stuff out of the way, and then we'll go into the bad stuff.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
let's see. I've had 2 calls so far from these tests,
Mhm.
and they've I've actually had a show up, which is something that with cold leads is really important for people to know. You have to have a system to help them show up.
Mhm.
And I really think I've built something out to help them show up. And I really did have one show up, which was really great.
Yeah.
Um, and so far, no conversions from the ads, as in people wanting to work.
Mhm.
But that's the sad part that I'm going to tell you about that made me really excited, actually. So the
Okay.
sad part was, for example, I had, you know, a call, like an actual phone call with this person, and we're like, and I
And she
learned
showed
how
up.
to sell. She showed up. My
Yeah.
God, I was so happy. And then I learned how to sell on the phone. Um, I learned how to not sell on the phone. And it was like the first thing she said, okay, this is what cold leads are like. You guys got to know this, but this makes me very excited right now. But at the moment, I was terrified. And so she said, like, well, I'm really hoping. So where are you right now? Like, where are you based out of? And I was like, well, right now I'm in Canada. And then she's like, cuts in and she's like, well, I kind of just really want to work with a local person. So, and then I completely froze. And I was like, right. And then I just gently like closed the conversation as if there was no place to go from there.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Got
and
it.
that after evaluating that call, I realized, wow, I could have gone so many different directions there.
Mhm.
And after that dread and like embarrassment moment and feeling those feelings, I felt an incredible amount of excitement surge in my body. Like seriously, it was insane. My husband witnessed this. Like I was so sad, and then I was so happy because I realized there were so many things I could have said, and
Mhm.
I'll say them next time.
Yeah.
And the win,
Okay, what would you have said?
well, the first one, there's a couple options, but the first thing I would have said, I was like, say, of course, because first you always agree with the
Yeah.
prospect, and you say, of course, I totally understand. And since you got me on the call, well, how about we go through the clarity call? Because
Yeah.
that's what it's designed for, to help you, you know, whatever the reason is you booked today, I can help you figure out what went wrong and what you can do better.
Yeah.
Something like that,
Yeah, just make it not an issue. Yeah.
it's not an issue. And then just get them talking and sharing, because I think one of the things that I realized right away when I hung up is that a part of her made that discovery call for a reason,
Mhm.
or clarity call. And um, I am there to service that person, that part of
Mhm.
her. And I'm there to, and that makes me so excited because now, man, I thought I would have to do video calls for all my clarity calls, but the world has opened up now that I realize I can just do phone calls. I'm like, this is so easy. Like, I don't have to even know what I'm going to say. I can have, if I need to, I can have a script. I can have like options like A, B,
Yeah.
C. It's like, it was awful in the moment, but I'm so excited now, genuinely.
Yeah.
Um, and also, huge win that she showed up.
Yeah.
So I figured something out to help
Mhm.
people show up. And one of
Mhm.
the things that I figured out was texting them before the call. No reply. I've had no luck with people like replying to my email reminders at all
Mhm.
for the cold leads. However, with her, I texted her right before, um, and she showed up. So
Perfect.
that's a really nice nugget if anybody's
Yeah.
doing ads right now for cold leads.
For sure. I mean, text just performs so much better. I think in that moment, if anybody is like nervous about getting put on the spot with questions like that or with objections like that right off the bat, you can
Yeah.
just always ask a follow-up question. Instead of answering it, you can always ask a follow-up. So when she says, "Where
Yes.
are you?" I mean, it could be like, "Oh, I'm in Canada. Why do you ask?" And then, like,
Mm,
just like have her explain why that's important. She would probably say something like, "Oh, I want to work with somebody in person, somebody local." And then I would maybe follow up with like, "Yeah, why is that important to you? Let's talk about that." And just like turn it back around to a question for
mhm.
them to talk more instead of having you on the defensive answering questions, because that's never how you want to be in a
Right.
sales conversation. You want to always be the one asking the questions, not answering them.
Mhm.
So, I mean, not that you shouldn't answer people's questions, but
Yeah.
I think you can like understand the nuance there. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway, that's so
totally.
great. But you doing it and being sweaty and afterwards getting off the
Yeah.
call and like,
Ah,
oh, okay. That leads to the evaluation. Like, oh, here's what I would do differently. I would have a script
mhm,
for somebody that has a time objection, somebody that has a money objection, somebody that has an in-person versus virtual objection. Oh, interesting. Here are the things I could talk about. Here are
mhm.
the here are the very specific client stories that I could weave in for people that have been successful that thought that same thing. And here, you could like just have that all built out
Exactly. Yeah.
and set yourself up for success. But first you got to just be willing to just be sweaty and
Right?
have the little cringy conversations because we all do.
That's so true. And really, asking why, genius,
Yeah.
100%. Always being the person that's asking is a very powerful
Like,
move,
why is
I
that
think.
important to you? Oh, tell me more about that.
Mhm.
Why is that important to you?
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
bringing them, I really, I'm really drawn to bringing her back to that person who she was when she booked the call, because there's a
Yeah.
reason, and she just forgets because life's life, and it's so easy.
Yeah.
And I totally relate to that. And as soon as I relate to her, it's
Mhm.
no longer about me; it's about her, and
Mhm.
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's worth it every time, even though they're super cold. Um,
Yeah.
Now, the other thing I want to talk about maybe with about calls in general is that I've been having a lot of like more calls than I've ever had before booked last month and this month. And I've been dialing in my call structure a lot and just learning from every call a lot. And one of the things I'm realizing is that we all need some buy-in for people um, to show up. So, for example, having them make a deposit for the meeting. Like we just take your card on file and you're charged something if you don't show up. We have to have some skin in the game to
Mhm.
help them show up. I don't even think I need to charge them, but um, I think that's like the next step in my process with all these calls I'm getting. I
Yeah.
think yeah, that will really help. Because
Something that I've not done this, but I've heard that this works really well is to have is to leverage what we like the principle of reciprocity basically. So it's like I gave you something, you're going to give me something back and to show up live. So what I've heard people do that works really well is have an automated text that goes out a certain like maybe a half hour before the scheduled call that has a $5 Starbucks gift card in it that says, "Hey, just want to make sure you're caffeinated for our meeting today. Looking forward
oh
to
my
it."
gosh.
So now you've given them something and they feel like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I have to show." Like there's a little bit
Right.
of a dynamic that's created there. I don't know. I'll just like throw that
Yeah.
out as something that I have heard works really well.
That actually does land a lot better because there's nothing like a dental appointment that charges you because you totally forgot about it. It sucks.
Yeah.
So I actually really appreciate that. Yeah, and I'm excited to test it because now I've got all the calls to test it on.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
So
Okay, so let's go back to that. So the ads are running. Your test budget has given you a lot of data about what is landing for people, what isn't,
mhm,
how are they getting to opt in. I mean, you just learned so much in a
mhm.
very compressed amount of time by spending some money on ads. And it is not
Mm.
for the faint of heart because there's a lot of setup to get to that point. So I commend you for actually doing the things. Like that is not it is, and honestly, that is why it is not a core part of the TPN program,
Yeah.
because it would be so overwhelming for most people that just need to go validate their offer, get paid, and get some systems in place. They don't need to worry about ads yet. That's why we don't introduce that until later. Um, and there's a big tech component to it, but you have taken it on, and it is so rewarding when you do, because you learn so
It
much and
is.
you get so much data so quickly. So you have these leads coming in, they're double opting in. I'm sure some of them aren't. You had to figure that
Yes.
out. You have to figure out, like, what is it on the confirmation page? Like, how do I need to make sure that they actually go get the email and click the thing in there
Oh yeah.
so that they get the emails? That's a whole thing in and of itself. You figured that out. I mean,
Mm.
how exciting. I love also,
Yes.
we didn't talk about this, but I love your cost per lead is really low, which is incredible. So obviously your messaging is very specific. It is getting to the right person,
Mm.
and that is why it is low. So do you want to share what that is?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe I can give you the exact number. I believe it's around $1.5.
It's
Um,
insane. That is
it's very
so
good.
low. It is so great.
And here it is. Yes, yes. And I I know which is the winning ad.
Mhm.
But I keep wanting to test other ones. But and this is something people might not know. You go through like a three-stage testing system for your one ad that you're trying to figure out which is the best one that converts. And the best one that converts is costing me about $1.3 per click. So, and then per lead, it's going between $2 and $4 right now. Um,
Amazing.
so that means that they've opted in, they've sent in the, um, they wanted the freebie and they got the freebie. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with this. Um, I would also like people to know that, like, um, I like to think about it as cost per person. Oh, I mean, think about the number cost per lead the most as much as possible. So there's cost per lead. That's like everyone who comes in and doubles opt-ins or not double opt-in. And then there's the cost per double opt-in. And I really like to look at that number because I believe when I look at my cost per double opt-in, it's around $6 per person. So it's slightly higher than just
But still,
everybody,
that's so
but
good.
it's insanely good. And if you think about, I love thinking about this just in perspective. Like, would you pay $6 or what? Like, would you pay $60 to have this many people extra on your email list?
Mhm.
Um,
That are raising their hand like, "Yes, I have
yeah,
this problem and I'm actively trying to solve it. Yes, me, right
yes,
here, me." It's
exactly.
insane.
And it's obvious. Of course you would. And it's way less than even just buying a coffee at an event where you go in person to hand out your business card
Mhm.
and all day. And you might not even get any bites by the end of the day.
And you
It's
might
just,
not know at the
yeah,
end of that day what was it that is the reason why you didn't get bites. There's so many variables there
yes.
that you wouldn't necessarily know. Whereas when you're running ads, it is very
Mhm.
clear to see, are people clicking? Yes, they're clicking. Oh, okay, so that part's working. What I'm saying and
Yes.
the copy, that part's working. Oh, but then they're getting to this page and then nothing happens. Oh, okay, well that's where
Mhm.
there's a breakdown. That's where we need to figure out, why are people not coming to the next step. Oh, they are getting to the page,
Yes.
but then they're never double opting in to the emails. Oh, I can see that's the part. So you just have such a systematic way of figuring out where in the process is it breaking down, and it will, and you can fix it and iterate it, which is just where the gold is. Most people
Mhm.
are not willing to do that. Most people don't want to
Mhm.
risk money on ads. They would rather spend
Right.
months and years of their time in trying to get that data and trying to do it for free. But time is not free. It's the one thing
Mhm.
we can't get back, because we can make more money but we can't make more time, and that is just such a frustration of mine. So when you're willing to condense the learning into a smaller amount of time by putting some money behind it, the insights are there, and you've been such a great example of that. So I know you're very new into running the ads.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see where this is going to take you, because you are getting such good results already, and it's only going to get
Mhm.
better as you continue iterating. So good.
And there's nothing more exciting than knowing I'm going to go away now for 4 weeks and I'm going to run the best ad while I'm away and just let the system work while I'm away. Because again, your business works for you when you have these ads, and that's kind of the dream.
Yeah.
And for anyone who's worried about budget, you can just determine like if how much per client are you willing to, how much would you pay to get a client? So
Mm-hmm.
if you also charge $5,000 or $6,000 per client, like how much of that would you be willing to pay in order to get a $5,000 or $6,000 client?
Mm-hmm.
For me, $500.
Yeah.
I'd say that's a solid. I would be willing to do that. And
Yeah.
right now, it's not $500 per person at all. So, um, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll see. It's going
we'll
to
see.
get there. That's a great point. And I know that you did have those hesitations too before you signed up for the client attraction system, before you started running ads. You were like, oh, I'm like having a hard time with this. I don't want to risk too much. I don't want to get in over my head. And ultimately, you decided I can trust myself to set a budget and to figure it out. And it's not like it's going to just be a runaway freight train either. You know, you're in
Yeah.
control of what you're testing and how much money you're spending. And I think that you've just been a great model of that.
I appreciate it. And you're 100% correct. Andrea spoke the truth. I was 100% asking everybody who had been in the thing before, like, tell me everything. Like, how
Is
did
it
it
worth it?
go?
Is it
Is it
worth it?
working? And like, and I would ask very specific questions. And like, I'd tell them, like, I don't know if I have a budget for this. And like, I would tell them, like, the worst of the worst story. And they were all, not a single one of them said it wasn't worth it. So
Amazing.
take that as like a big hint, like yes, it's a long-term thing, but it also gives you the skill to save time in your marketing
Yeah.
and um well, more eyeballs. I think some of us that need more eyeballs, just I think this is one of the best ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally
If
agree.
you're going to master anything, I think master this.
Master some ads. Yeah. And having just consistent lead generation over and over. I think that there will be a lot of people listening to this that think, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do on a sales call. Guess how
Mm.
you learn how to do a sales call? You have a lot of them. Like,
Amen.
let's get more of them. It's
Yes.
hard to get good at doing sales calls if you only do one a month. What if you did one a day? You get good at sales
Oh my
calls
God.
pretty dang fast, right?
I was having sales calls like every other month, like maximum. That's it.
And it's just
And
not
then,
enough
yeah.
at bats to
Yeah.
get good at it. It's just not.
Mhm.
You have to have more. You have to have more exposure. You have to have more sweaty conversations to get them less sweaty. That's for sure.
Yes, and help them see that most of their objections are just people getting in their own way. And
Mhm.
people, I think a huge thing I took from a huge mind shift is that I've had since working with you is that people want to buy expensive things. They really do. They don't just want the results. They do want the results, like 100%. But like, there's something about it that really, there's something about it.
Yeah,
And
feels good.
so be that person. And if you do, it actually does help them get better results. So it's win-win for everybody.
Yeah. And then you
And
actually
yeah,
have the resources in your business to do things like test ads.
yes,
If your offer is so inexpensive and your margins are so tiny,
yeah,
you wouldn't be able to do that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And don't forget, please don't forget the human connection and the commitment part and the respect and the love that you'll get. I just got an email from one of my clients. She was like, I'm so happy for your vacation. Like, have an amazing time. I'm sending you the best vibes. Okay, no one I've ever worked with has ever said that to me that was paying less than 6,000. Okay. So, like, that's the kind of people you want in your life. And then you also have the resources to help the people that can't afford you for free, like
Yeah.
Andrew's podcast, right?
Yeah.
Like it really does work win-win-win for everybody.
Yeah. But to be able to do that, you have to have the resources in your business to be able to do
Yes.
the free stuff too. Such a
Yeah.
great reminder. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, this was so good. I'm so glad that you got to share all of these insights with your pricing in particular, and then getting to the point where you're now running ads, and having all the leads coming in. This is so fun. So Isabella's going to Iceland for 4 weeks. Her ads will be running. I cannot wait to hear what happens by the time you get back. This is going to be such a fun
Mm,
test for you on this client attraction system, just going in the background, just working,
just
working,
working.
working. The new people coming in, getting your emails that are already pre-scheduled.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's so good. It's so good.
Ah, almost
Okay,
there.
so my follow-up to this for anyone watching or listening that's like, what is this client attraction system? I will just say it is inside the TPN program. So you have to be a member in
Mm,
TPN to get access to that system, because it would not make any sense if you didn't have an offer, which is what we teach you how to do in the program. If you weren't charging appropriately, which is what we teach you how to do in the program. If you didn't know how to deliver a process and make it really quantifiable so that your clients get good results, it wouldn't make sense, which is what we teach you how to do in the program.
yeah.
So yeah, you're not missing anything if you're like, I've never heard about this before. Well, if you're not in TPN, you wouldn't have. So that's my takeaway. Links in the description, everyone. Links in the description.
Yeah. And she's 100% correct. I just want to reiterate, it really matters to get the foundations right first. Otherwise, you'll feel so scattered
Yeah.
when
Yep.
you're going
So I
through the.
think
Mhm.
joining the TPN program and going through the 3K in 30 days challenge is for sure step one,
Yeah.
because you really will be met with those areas where your belief is a little bit lower. If your belief in your offer is low, if your belief
Mm,
in your ability to bring people through a process and get them results is low, you're going to find that out. And then it's going to show you, okay, so that's what I need to raise up. If your
yeah.
belief in yourself is low, you will figure that out really quick in the challenge. And then we'll know, oh, okay, I need to do a little work here. If your belief
Mm.
in your clients and their resourcefulness and their ability to problem solve without you spoon feeding it to them every step of the way, all puns intended, is low,
Yeah,
then
seriously.
you will realize that. And that's where you will direct your attention. So, yeah, I mean, that is really a huge component, is just figuring out, all right, where do I need to work on my mindset here so that I
Mm,
can create the systems and have those in place to get people better results, which is what it's all about. That's why we're here.
yeah. I would want to say to people that you've heard Andrea probably talk about thought work, and 3K and 30-day challenge is all thought work. And that's why it's so powerful. And I just want to say that this year, my top priority was lead generation, but the second priority was doing consistent thought work of myself, my business, my offer, etc., my clients, and made it makes like everything easier every week that you work on your business. And I just want to put that out there because that's the other thing you're going to learn, like useful belief creation. You might have heard of that. Like these things are super simple, but you do them for like 5 to 10 minutes a day before you start on your business, and everything feels 90% lighter when you do it. I swear to, I swear it
Yeah.
really works.
It's so true. It's so true. When you get your mind into that right space for problem solving and moving quickly and keeping things simple by
Yeah.
doing a little bit of thought work first, everything
Yeah.
is easier. It really is.
Reminding yourself of what's going well. Um,
Otherwise, you'll be tempted to think nothing is. Yes,
yes. Oh my gosh. And then the
absolutely.
spiral. Yeah. And of course, you bring all these things to your clients.
Mhm.
Those tools blow their mind just like they will with you when you actually use them.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it just goes round and round. So I Andrea did not ask me to plug the TPM program, but I swear to goodness that it is 100% worth just for the thought work alone. Yes, her other modules are excellent, and I'm glad I did them. I needed them, but um, yeah, the thought work is incredible. So the coaching, there's real coaching here, and it's 100% self development. And I know we're all self development, like entrepreneurs or
Yeah.
junkies. I don't want to say the word junkie, but ah,
But
it's
maybe
true.
a little bit. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Oh, it's
um,
so good. Well, thank you for
yeah.
the plug. I'll take it.
Mm,
I
mm.
appreciate it. So, Isabella, where do people find you? They want to lose weight for the last time. They want all of the goodness. Where do people find you? Or refer clients to
Absolutely.
you, or all that good stuff?
My name is Isabella Thor, and guess where you find me? IsabellaThor.com. It's Thor, like the god of thunder, Thor. Very
Yes.
simple. And
Amazing.
that's where you find all things goodness, all things fun weight loss, and of course, how to keep it off after you've lost it.
Yeah.
So, um, this is very simple. We accept people who want to have fun losing weight. So
That's it.
please
That's
join
the
us.
only
You're welcome.
requirement. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I love it. Okay. Well, we will have that all linked up in the description. Thank you so
Mm,
much for sharing so openly what has gone well and what hasn't gone well and what you've learned over the last few years in your business. It's just so helpful. I hear all the time people are like, I
mm,
love these episodes where people are actually sharing
mm.
the stuff, the meat and potatoes of what they're doing and what hasn't worked and all that. And you just so generously shared. So thank you so much for that.
Absolutely. My pleasure, 100%. And thank you.
Well, there you have it. Isabella has shared exactly what formula she has used from going from unsure and still figuring it out to having a very dialed in, super premium offer, knowing exactly who her clients are, who she can help, and getting them on repeat. 24 hours a day and having a system in place for lead generation. If you want that too, we would love to help you create it. It's all I want to do is help you get leads and help you make money consistently so you can help more people. That is what this work is all about. So, link in the description for the Profitable Nutritionist program, which is where you will be also introduced to the client attraction system. And that's our very specific system for running paid ads to strangers on the internet. And turning them into paid clients. So all of the info is in the description. We would love to help you to do exactly what Isabella has done. And again, I'm so grateful for her for openly sharing all of her takeaways along the way.